Hey, what's up, YouTube? I wanted to make a video. This video asks the question. I asked the question why Jeffrey Dahmer was obsessed with the color blue, and blue is supposed to be the color of the gods and goddesses of hell, Dewat. And I asked this question when I was a member of the JOSE groups 5-6 years ago. I remember I asked this question about 2 years ago. Why he was about 3 years ago, 3 years ago at the most. I asked why was Jeffrey Dahmer obsessed with the color blue, and this question was never posted. Was never approved by the admins. But anyways, I asked the question because I was reading about Jeffrey Dahmer. He was obsessed with color blue. He even went as far as painting one of his rooms blue. He even had blue shades in his room. So when he shut the shades and the sunlight came through blue. And he also had blue lamps all around his room. And which would make me think that he saw blue orbs, blue stars. And I guess somebody, when I was a member of the JOSE groups, I asked somebody about the blue stars once. I posted a topic about blue stars, and somebody responded, I guess an ex-Wiccan that turned spiritual Satanist. She was also a member of the groups, and she told me that the red stars she sees, when you reach a certain level of astral sight, you start seeing stars, blue orbs, or red orbs, or gray orbs, or gold orbs. And some of these orbs are some of the members of Joy of Satan said that you could tell the difference between angels by these orbs, the color of the orbs. And they say that our gods, their orbs are the color blue, and that the bad ones are the color red. But anyways, Jeffrey Dahmer, he had one room where it was all painted blue. He had blue shades, he had blue lights. So when you turn on the lights, it would show as the color blue. And he also had an altar made of human bones, human skulls. And he was into the spirituality too, because his last victim claimed right before Jeffrey Dahmer was about to kill him, and this was the victim that escaped Jeffrey Dahmer's house and got the police over at his house. He said as Jeffrey Dahmer was holding them hostage, Jeffrey Dahmer was watching the movie Star Wars. It was the Return of the Jedi, and he was obsessed with the character Palpatine. He was obsessed with Emperor Palpatine. But as he was watching this movie, the dude that he was holding hostage was saying that Jeffrey Dahmer was rocking back and forth, saying chants. Like, how chants are, saying words of power, chanting, like spiritual chants, like a Buddhist monk would chant, or saying mantras. Jeffrey Dahmer was rocking back and forth chanting. He was either raising power or something to those likes. But anyways, but my question is, why would Jeffrey Dahmer paint his entire room blue? Well, one of his rooms entirely blue. Why would he have in the same room blue shades? So when the sun shined, it shined in blue. Why did he even go as far as having blue lamps, blue lighting in the room? And then he had altars, like he had human skulls laid out on the table too, and he had like a little altar room going on. But that raises the question: why was he so obsessed with the color blue? And so something tells me that he was able to see the blue orbs, the blue stars, and he was communicating with these blue orbs, these blue stars. And I remember back when I was able to see the spirit world myself, to some extent. I remember the more I stared at these blue orbs, these blue stars, and I would really focus on them, they start making out beings. So to me, these blue orbs are souls, or these red stars are souls. Like a star and soul, they both have 4 letters. Rats spelled backwards is star. In India, there is actually temples dedicated to rats, and Hindus believing that these rats are their ancestors reincarnated. What does rat spell backwards? Star. What is well, then again, blue has 4 letters as well. True has blue letters. The word true has 4 letters. So I'm just saying, just food for thought. Why was Jeffrey Dahmer so obsessed with the color blue? Anyways, and I'll be posting the Wikipedia on Jeffrey Dahmer at the on my video description, and it said, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a long read, but I remember I read this before, but it's up to you to look through it and find it for yourself. But he was obsessed with the color blue. He had a room dedicated to color blue. He had blue shades and blue lamps and an altar made out in his room, and he liked to chant, you know, like mantras and all that. So I think he was definitely into the witchcraft, and he was definitely into spirituality. And there's nothing wrong with witchcraft. Witchcraft is the power to the mind and soul. Witchcraft can save your life, literally. I mean, the only way that you can save your soul is through witchcraft. But Jeffrey Dahmer also believed that eating his victims, well, he would gain power by eating his victims. And this is a proven scientific fact that like heart transplants, liver transplants, like, you know, organ transplants today, that the people that get organs from donors, they pick up their abilities. Like, let's say somebody that got a liver transplant or a lung or some sort of transplant. They let's say the owner of this the previous owner of this organ was a basketball player, or he was interested in golf. Suddenly, the person that the donor of this organ that gave it to this person the person that took this organ from the donor is now suddenly interested in golf. Suddenly wants to play basketball. Like, this is a proven case scientifically, and it's also proven that, well, it's not. I wouldn't say proven, but in Africa, it's a practice amongst a lot of Africans in Africa today that especially in Liberia, when Liberia had their civil war, the rebels would eat warlords. They would eat the hearts of these Liberian generals, and after these Liberian generals or people in power that were facing off against these rebels were killed, the rebel Liberians would cut open their bodies, take out their hearts, and eat their hearts, believing that if they ate their hearts or their meat, they would gain their powers. So, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer also believed the same thing. If he ate his victims, he would also gain their power. They would become part of him. So I'm just pointing out, you know, possible facts that he was involved in spirituality, and that why was he so obsessed with the color blue? Was he involved with the same beings that the Joy Satan's involved with? Food for thought.